All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a business survival guide, how you can plan for the totally unexpected. And let's be real, you have to. When you find out that just 1 hour of downtime can cost a small business thousands of bucks and a big company millions, you get it. It's not a question of if something's going to happen, it's a question of when.
So, I've got a question for you, and I want you to really think about it. If disaster struck tomorrow, I'm talking your office is gone, your servers are fried, your most important people can't work, what's your plan B? Do you even have one? And I don't mean a vague idea in your head. I mean a real, written down plan you can grab and go. That's the question we're going to dig into.
You know, if there's one thing the last few years have taught all of us, it's this right here. The COVID-19 pandemic just completely shattered that illusion that some businesses were too big to fail or too stable to be disrupted. It was a massive wake-up call for everybody, proving that being prepared isn't just, a nice to have. It's absolutely essential for survival.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what we're up against. What are the actual threats we need to be thinking about? Because I'm betting the list is a whole lot bigger than what you might have in your head right now.
And look at this list. It's the sheer variety here that's kind of wild. Of course, our minds immediately go to the big stuff, right? Fires, floods, the dramatic disasters. But honestly, the things that are way more likely to get you are the silent killers. A critical server just gives up, a ransomware attack freezes everything, or your main supplier just disappears overnight. Any single one of those things can stop your business dead in its tracks. So, with all that uncertainty out there, what do? How do you fight back? Well, the answer is simple. You don't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You get proactive. You build a business survival guide.
And that guide has an official name. It's called Business Continuity Management, or BCM for short. Now, this is super important. This is not just a disaster recovery plan. It's not about cleaning up the mess after it happens. BCM is a whole process for weaving resilience right into the DNA of your company, so you can take a punch and just keep on going.
And hey, this isn't just some fuzzy, made-up idea. It's the real deal. There's actually an international gold standard for this stuff called ISO 2231. Think of it as the official roadmap, a proven framework that anyone can use to build a seriously solid plan.
All right, so where do you even begin with all this? Well, the very first step is kind of like a full-body checkup for your business. Before you can write the prescription, you've got to find your weak spots. You need to know exactly where you're most vulnerable.
And the tool for that is something called a business impact analysis, or a BIA. I love this analogy. Think of it like an ER triage unit. When there's a huge accident, the doctors don't just start treating people randomly. No way. They triage. They figure out who's most critical, who needs help right now to survive. That is exactly what a BIA does for your business.
Now, during that analysis, you're looking for a couple of key numbers. The first one is called the Maximum Tolerable Period of Disruption, or MTPD. This is your do or die deadline. For everything your business does, you have to ask, how long can we survive without this? How long until the damage is, unacceptable? When do we flatline? That point in time, that is your MTPD.
Okay, so if the MTPD is the flat line, then your recovery time objective, the RTO, that's your defibrillator. It's the jolt that gets the heart beating again. And notice, the goal here isn't to get back to 100% right away. It's about getting back to a minimum level, just enough to be alive and functioning. The RTO is your target to get that pulse back, fast.
And this brings us to the most important rule in this whole process. It's all about the relationship between these two numbers. Your goal, your RTO, has to be shorter than your deadline, your MTPD. It's that simple. If your system flatlines after 3 days, but your plan takes 4 days to bring it back, well, you don't have a plan. You've got to use the defibrillator before the patient is gone for good.
Okay, so you've done the diagnosis, you know your weak spots, you know your deadlines. Now it's time to write the recovery playbook.
And that playbook has a name too. It's your Business Continuity Plan, or BCP. This is the real-world what to do when it all goes wrong guide. No fluff, no theory, just step-by-step instructions your team can actually follow in a crisis.
So what goes into this plan? Well, it's really built on 4 main pillars. First up, response structure. Who's calling the shots? Who's on what team? You need that defined. Then second, communication. How are you going to talk to your employees, your customers, the media? You got a plan for that. Third, the nitty-gritty, recovery actions, the actual technical steps to get things back online. And finally, number 4, return to normal.
How do you gracefully move from crisis mode back to business as usual?
But listen, and this is maybe the most important part. A plan that just sits in a binder on a shelf is completely useless. It's just paper. You have to bring it to life. You have to run the drill.
I mean, this quote just nails it. Think about it. Would you feel safe in a building if you knew they'd never ever tested the fire escape? Of course not. It's the exact same idea with your BCP. Until you actually test it, it's not a plan. It's just a theory. It's a bunch of hopeful guesses.
And look, practicing doesn't have to mean some massive company-wide shutdown for a drill. You can start small. Start with what we call discussion-based exercises. Basically, get the key people in a room and talk through a scenario. It's a low-stress way to build confidence. Then you can graduate to the more operations-based drills, where you're actually testing systems and people under a bit of pressure.
And the whole point of these drills isn't about getting a passing grade. It's not a test. The goal is to learn. A great drill will show you what's working, for sure. But way more importantly, it's going to shine a big, bright light on all the gaps. The wrong phone number, the step you forgot to write down, the one person who has all the passwords in their head. Finding those things out during a drill is how you build a plan that actually works, and a team that's truly confident.
So, when you put it all together, what are we really talking about here? It's a journey. It's about taking your organization from a place where it's fragile, where it's just reacting to chaos, and transforming it into something that's truly resilient, something that can take a hit, shake it off, and keep moving forward with confidence and control.
And that leaves me with one last question for you to think about. When you look at your own organization, your own team, be honest. Is it only built for sunny days? Or is it truly built to last, ready for whatever storm might be just over the horizon?